Shalom. Judges, Shoftim, chapter 17. And there was a man from the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Micaiah. And he said to his mother, the 1,100 pieces of silver that were taken from you, and on which you put a curse, even saying it in my ears, look, the silver is with me, I took it. And his mother said, Baruch of Yahuwah be my son. Blessed of Yahuwah be my son. And he gave back the 1,100 pieces of silver to his mother. And his mother said, I had truly kadosh, that means holy, or made holy, the silver from my hand to Yah for my son, to make a carved image and a molded image, and now I give it back to you. And he gave the silver back to his mother, and his mother took 200 pieces of silver, gave them to the silversmith, and he made it into a carved image and a molded image. And they were in the house of Mikahu. And then the man Micah had a house, or Micah had a house of mighty ones, and made a shoulder garment and house idols. He ordained one of his sons who became his priest, or Kohen. And in those days there was no sovereign or king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his very own eyes. And there was a young man from Bethlehem in Yehuda, of the clan of Yehuda, and he was a Levite, and he was sojourning there. He was traveling through. And the man went out of the city of Bethlehem in Yehuda to sojourn wherever he could find a place. And he came to the mountains of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, as he journeyed. And Micah said to him, Where do you come from? And he said, I am a Levite from Bethlehem in Yehuda, and I am on my way to find a place to sojourn. And Micah said to him, Dwell with me, and be a father and a priest, a Kohen to me, and I give you 10 pieces of silver per year, an allowance of garments, and I'll give you your food. And the Levite went. So the Levite agreed to dwell with the man, and the young man became like one of his own sons to him. Then Micah, verse 12, then Micah ordained the Levite, and the young man became his Kohen, and he was in the house of Micah. And Micah said, Now I know that Yahuwah does good to me, since I have a Levite as Kohen. Chapter 18. In those days there was no sovereign in Israel, and in those days the tribe of Danites from the tribe of Dan was seeking an inheritance for itself to dwell in. For until that day all of their inheritance among the tribes of Israel had not yet fallen to them. And the children of Dan sent 5 men of their clan, brave men, from Sorah and Eshtaol, to spy out the land and search it. And they said to them, Go search the land. They went to the mountains of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, and spent the night there. When they were near the house of Micah, they recognized the voice of the young Levite, and they turned aside and said to him, Who brought you here? What are you doing in this place? What do you have here? And he said to them, Micah did such and such for me. He hired me, and I've become his priest, his Kohen. They said to him, Please inquire of Elohim. We shall know whether the journey on which we are going is prosperous. The Kohen said to them, Go in peace. Your journey on which you go is before Yahuwah. Then the 5 men left and came to Laish, and saw the people who were in their midst, how they dwelt safely, according to the ruling of the Sidonites, at rest and unsuspecting, and no one possessing authority in the land was reproaching for any matter. They were far from the Sidonians, and they had no word with anyone. And the spies came back to the brothers at Sorah and Eshtaol, and their brother said to them, What do you say? They said, Arise, let us go up against them, for we have seen the land, and it is very good, and you sit still. Do not hesitate to go enter in to possess the land. When you go, you are to come to an unsuspecting people, and the land is spacious. Elohim has given it into your hands, a place in which there is no lack of any matter which is on the earth. And 600 men of the clan of the Danites went from there, from Sorah to Eshtaol, armed for battle. They went up and encamped in Kiriath Yearim and Yehuda. Therefore they call that place Mahana Dan. to this day. See, it is west of the Kiriath Yearim. And they passed over from there to the mountains of Ephraim and came to the house of Micah. And the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land of Laish answered and said to their brothers, Do you know that there are these houses, a shoulder garment? Do you know that there are in these houses a shoulder garment and house idols, carved images, and a molded image? And now you know what to do. And they turned aside there. They came into the house of the young Levite man, the house of Micah, and they greeted him. And the 600 men armed for battle who were of the children of Dan stood by the entrance of the gate. And the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land went up, and entering there, they took the carved image, the shoulder garment, house idols, and molded image, while the Kohen stood at the entrance of the gate with the 600 men who were armed for battle. And these went into Micah's house and took the idol, the shoulder garment, house idols, molded image. And the Kohen said to them, What are you doing? They said to him, Be silent. Put your hand over your mouth and come with us. Be a father and a Kohen to us. Is it better for you to be a Kohen to the household of one man, or that you be a Kohen to a tribe and a clan in Israel? And the heart of the Kohen was so glad. And he took the shoulder garment, house idols, carved image, and took his place among the people. And they turned and they went and put the little ones and livestock and valuables in front of them. They had gone some distance from the house of Micah, when the men who were in the houses near Micah's house gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. They called out to the children of Dan. So they turned aside around and said to Micah, What is the matter that you have gathered such a company? And he said, You have taken away my mighty ones which I made, and the Kohen, and you are leaving? Now what more do I have? What is this you have to say to me? What is the matter? And the children of Dan said to him, Do not let your voice be heard among us, lest men bitter of being fall upon you, and you lose your life with the lives of your household. And the children of Dan went their way, and then Micah saw that they were too strong for him. He turned back and went back to his house. Then they took what Micah had made and the Kohen who had belonged to him, and went to Laish, to a people who were at rest and unsuspecting, and they smote them with the edge of the sword and burned the city with fire. And there was no deliverer, because it was far from Sidon, and they had no word with anyone. It was in the valley that belongs to Beth Rehob, and they rebuilt the city and dwelt there. And they called the name of that city Dan, after the name of Dan their father, who was born to Yisrael, but previously the name of the city was Laish. And the children of Dan put up for themselves the carved image, and yet Jehonathan, which is Jonathan, son of Gershom, son of Manasseh, and his son were Kohanim up to the tribe of Dan until the day the land was taken into exile. And they put up for themselves the carved image of Micah, which he had made all of the days that the house of Elohim was in Shiloh.